In the Middle East, peace is often an illusion. For decades, three nations have stood locked in a silent confrontation, not always visible, not always acknowledged, but always there: Iran, Israel, the United States, a shadow war fought in secret, measured in airstrikes, whispers, sanctions, cyber attacks, and now, the world asks, how close are we to something irreversible? The story begins in 1979. A revolution in Iran reshaped the balance of power in the Middle East. Diplomatic ties with Washington collapsed overnight. Sanctions followed. Distrust hardened. Israel watched closely. Two Israeli leaders. Iran's new ideology was not just rhetoric, it was an existential threat. Over the years, speeches turned sharper. Military doctrines shifted. Red lines were drawn, and behind closed doors, preparations began. This is not a war fought with mass invasions. It is fought in fragments. In Lebanon, Hezbollah stands armed and ready, backed by Tehran. In Syria, airstrikes light up the night sky. In Iraq, rockets streak toward military bases housing American troops. Each strike, calculated, each retaliation, deliberate. No one wants full-scale war, but no one wants to appear weak, and that is where danger lives. At the center of the storm lies a question that refuses to disappear. How close is Iran to nuclear weapons capability? Iran insists its nuclear program is peaceful. Israel insists it cannot afford to take that risk. In 2015, a fragile agreement slowed the program, but in 2018, that agreement fractured. Since then, uranium enrichment levels have increased, diplomacy has stalled, and somewhere in military command centers, contingency plans wait. Not all battles make headlines. Some unfold in silence. A cyber attack shuts down infrastructure. An explosion rocks a facility under mysterious circumstances. A scientist is assassinated. No one claims responsibility, but everyone understands the message. The battlefield has expanded beyond geography. It now exists in code, intelligence files, and shadows. The United States remains deeply embedded in the region. Military bases across the Gulf, aircraft carriers patrolling nearby waters, strategic bombers flying rehearsed missions. Every movement sends a signal, but Washington understands the stakes. A direct war with Iran could ignite the entire region. Oil markets would surge, alliances would fracture, global powers would be forced to choose sides. So the strategy becomes one of balance, deterrence. Without detonation, through the narrow Strait of Hormuz flows nearly a fifth of the world's oil supply. One disruption, and global markets tremble, energy prices spike, stock exchanges react within seconds. But beyond economics, there are people, families in Tel Aviv, children in Tehran, communities across Lebanon and Syria. They live under the shadow of decisions made far above them, and history has shown when escalation begins, it rarely stays contained. Wars do not always begin with declarations. Sometimes, they begin with miscalculations, a drone that crosses the wrong border, a missile intercepted too late, a retaliation that goes too far. For now, this conflict remains in the shadows, managed, contained, but the tension is real, and the world watches. Because if those shadows become open war, the consequences will echo far beyond the Middle East.